Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Zimbabwe. My whole family's from Zimbabwe. I was born there. I moved to the UK when I was around like a baby. I was like maybe 1 year old. And I lived there for about 13 years. So I grew up in Leeds. Leeds is right around Manchester. I lived there till I was around 7, 8-ish. And then I moved to Essex, which is just north of London, just right outside of London. And then I moved here 6 years ago. So I've been here ever since, yeah.
Oh wow, so you're from Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
I used to live in Zimbabwe.
You're lying.
I used to live in Harare, bro.
That's crazy. That's where I was born. That's where I'm from.
You from Harare?
Harare.
Oh,
that's
snap,
where I was born.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh, let me see. What do I remember? Borrowdale. I used to be going to Borrowdale, bro.
That is crazy.
Facts.
That's actually so nuts.
Yeah. What did I do? Oh yeah, I was doing I was like working there. Like I did an internship in Zimbabwe, and so like I have friends there now, and so I'll be trying to go back.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And so, wait a minute. What was your early life like in terms of your introduction to music? Were you into music in Zimbabwe, or when did that come about?
Well, I mean, I was really a baby, so I don't really remember much of like living. I've obviously visited like since, but I don't remember like being there as a baby. But like in like the UK, it's so like diverse. There's like so many different people around, and my mom, like she lived in Zimbabwe as well, like when she was younger. So she used to listen to the radio, even though like she wasn't supposed to. Like my granddad didn't allow us to listen to the radio because I had all the American music. Like she used to listen to Tupac and Biggie, all of that. And I guess she just put me on. Like she always had the CDs in the car, and I just fell in love with it. Like the first rap I ever listened to was DMX. Like I had an uncle, and before I was born, my mom was like, "You can name him," and he wanted to call me DMX, but my mom was like, no. So he like when I was born, he used to just call me X like all the time. Yeah,
Dang, that would have been hard though.
Yeah, it would have been hard. Yeah.
Okay, and so you moved to the UK.
Yeah.
And at what point did you start making music?
Oh, I didn't start making music until I was here. I only started making music 3 years ago. 3 years ago. But I've always had a love for music. Like ever since I was young, we used to always watch Michael Jackson. I'm like Michael Jackson is like my GOAT. Like I love Michael Jackson, like everything about him. The way he performs, like everything. Like I was obsessed as a kid. I used to try to learn the moves and everything. I was always like into music, like any kind of music. But I didn't start until I came here actually. Yeah.
What was it like growing up in the UK?
It was good. Like you learn a lot of like different things. It's like I said, it's so diverse, and it's like especially I lived in Essex, which is like suburb of London. But like I used to always be in London because like in England like transport is easy. You can go on a train. You're in London in like 10 minutes. Like so I used to be in London all the time, just doing anything. And I think that's where I kind of got like my whole diversity in my music, because I think I like to think I'm really versatile with my music. Like I started off as rapping, just straight rapping, but I've kind of like slowed it down and gone to more R&B. Like I have a project, should be coming out by the end of the year, called Godspeed. And it's really R&B influenced, but it has like a hint of like trap element into it. I think the whole trap thing, when I moved here, it was like a culture shock, and then I kind of just like more and more got into like the underground scene, like Atlanta underground scene, and I just fell in love with it.
Wait, so trap doesn't kind of remind you of like the grime scene?
No, it definitely does. I'm happy you mentioned that. I love grime.
Really?
Like, I love grime. Like the old school grime though, like Jamie, Skepta, Jammer, DWE, Chip, all of them. But I like all the new ones, but there's not really much grime being made anymore nowadays. Not much. But
what would you call like UK drill kind of?
UK drill rap, like like Central C, people like that, Dave, people like that, Diggity, yeah.
So you said you used to be going to London, you used to be causing havoc, was it in Piccadilly Circus? That's what it used to be, bro?
Piccadilly Circus, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's a place called Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah, I've been there, bro.
Yeah.
I know your streets, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it. He knows the ends.
All right, so What made you move from the UK to, you went, after the UK, you came to America?
Yeah.
Okay, what made you come to the States?
My mom, we have family here in North Carolina, and she visited, and I think she visited Georgia. I'm not too sure, but like when she came back, she was like, "We have to leave." Like like a few years before we left, she was like, "This place is bad vibes." She didn't really like the UK. Like towards the end of it, she didn't really like it. She was like, "It's bad vibes. I don't really like it." And then eventually she decided we want to make the big move, and we moved to Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so, was it a culture shock, like when you first got to the States?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's so weird. Like every time I would like meet someone, they'd always have something to say, like, "Oh, you're from the UK," things like that. Like, right, you're from the UK. And it was just weird, like having all the attention just because of where you're from. And everything is so different. Like people drive on the right hand side, we drive on the left. The steering wheel's on the wrong side. It's so confusing. But yeah, it was definitely a culture shock. But I'm definitely used to it now, for sure.
So did you like North Carolina?
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't visit. Like she visited by herself.
Oh.
So I'd never been to the US.
Oh, okay.
When we moved, that was the first time.
Okay, and so your first experience was Georgia?
Yeah.
All right. And so when you came to Georgia, like, what was that vibe like for you?
It was weird. It was like really different, like, cause I don't know, like the UK is so fast. Like everything is happening so fast, and like where I stay is kind of like, you know, it's kind of chill, like kind of mellow. I wasn't really used to it, and the people, everyone around was so different. It was just, I wasn't really used to it.
So wait, so you're saying the UK was faster than?
Yeah,
really?
definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Do you feel like London is faster than New York, or it's about one?
You know what? You know what I always say? London is like New York, and New York is like London. It's like the same. It's just New York is the American version of London, and London is the English version of New York. That's how I feel.
Basically, like London is New York's parent.
Yeah, it's literally, it's so similar, like everything, even like just the people, like the slang, not necessarily the slang, it's just the way they say it, like even the dress sense, like everything is like completely the same.
And so how did you, like, when did you make your first song? Like,
I made my first song, I think a month after I graduated high school in 2019 with my boy Cece, that's my guy. And he was already making music, but I was like, cause I used to write as a kid all the time. Like I said, I was always obsessed with music. I always loved music, but I wanted to play football as a kid. I wanted to play for Man United. That was always the dream, to play for football. That was always the dream. That's why music never happened when I was young. Oh, it only happened when I got older, because I was always into football. But when football started going away, because I kept getting injured in like my senior year in high school, I injured my knee and my hip. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something at this point. So I was like, I graduated and I was like, what should I do? What should I do? And I talked to my boy Cece and I was like, yo, I think I should make music. Cause he was already doing it and he's really good. Like that, he's so good. And I was like, can you help me? Like, can you help me? So I went to his house. He recorded a song, it's called Necessity. And he was like, write, bro. He was like, just write. So I wrote for like an hour straight, like an hour. And then I just put down my verse and then we did it. And he was like, yo, you're good. Like, you're actually good. You know what you're doing. And then, yeah, that was the first song I ever made. It was, came out maybe July of 2019. And then my first song I ever released, it was called Run It Back. I hate that song. It's horrible, like terrible song. It's not good, but it came out that same year. But then, like throughout 2019, I didn't really take it too seriously, but I remember a New Year's resolution of that year for 2020, I was like, I'm gonna take this whole thing seriously. And then ever since 2020, I've just been grinding as much as possible.
oh wow. You know, everybody says their first song sucks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, because like everyone levels up.
Yeah, it's like that
kinda,
progression, then you look back,
like even like, if I, like some of the songs I put out this year, I'm like, bro, I'm so much better than this. Like that's how I think. I always try to just level up with everything I do in music.
And so after your first song dropped, did you get signed to a label or like?
No, I'm independent.
Okay, you're
I'm independent.
All
Yeah.
right. Would you be interested in signing to a label?
Maybe. I mean, I've had people approach me, but as far as I'm concerned, not right now. I don't think I want to. Not right now. It just depends on the deal.
Like what figure would you be interested in?
I don't. Sometimes. I mean, obviously, money is a huge thing. You want to take care of your family. That's like the main thing I want to do. But like, it's all about the art for me. Like, I'd want to go somewhere where I feel like they know what they're doing. Like most definitely, I don't want to go somewhere where it's just, you know, we're just gonna give this guy a bunch of money, give him a terrible music deal. Like, nah, I don't want that. I'm in it for the art.
Feel that. Are you interested in any other art forms outside of music?
I really, really like fashion, and I really want to act. Like, I really, really. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah. I really want to get into fashion and definitely acting. Yeah.
Okay. What made you interested in like acting and fashion?
Acting, I really don't know. I just always I always had a thing for like movies and TV shows. Like, I always liked it. And I think, especially nowadays, a lot of black British people are getting casted for big roles. So it's kind of like, I'm black, I'm British, I might as well do this.
Let me get in this bag right
here. Yeah, like John Boyega, like Daniel Kaluuya, all of them. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Danson Idris as well, Snowfall.
And what about the fashion? Like, what made you interested in fashion?
I've always loved fashion. I always thought I was the best dressed. Like, especially in the UK, all my life, anyone watching that went to my school, no one could touch me when it came to dressing. Because we wore uniform in the UK. You had to wear uniform. But we had a day called non-uniform day. So everyone would just come in other clothes. I was the best dressed every year. I don't care what anyone says. No one can tell me I'm wrong. No one. I swear to God.
Facts. Like, look, watch them. They're going to be in the comments.
Yeah, okay. They can say what they want. They're copying.
All right. So what's been the most memorable moment in your music career thus far?
Most memorable moment? I have a few, actually. I'd say when I mentioned taking music seriously, I dropped 2 songs in January of 2020. And I was like, because I kept telling myself, I have to take this seriously, And I was just working hard, and I dropped 2 songs called Vibing, and I think what was the other one? Mamacita. I dropped those 2, and I went to sleep. When it came out, I went to sleep, I woke up, they both had like over 10K streams on Spotify. Just, I don't know how, like I have no idea. And I was like, okay, this is what happens when you work hard. Like, that was a big achievement for me, because I was like, I'm gonna take it seriously. And then the moment I did, the results kind of came. And I'd never hit those numbers before, like ever with Orman. I hadn't, to that point. I have now, since, but back then, no. I'd say another proud moment was probably, I've only done 2 shows. And the first show, after I did it, I had someone come up to me, this guy who was there, he was like, yo, that was such a good performance. And I was like, I appreciate it. And he was like, is that your first performance? He was like, yeah. And he was like, that's the best first performance I've seen. And I was like, wow, like that was crazy. And then, yeah, definitely.
Wait, so what did you switch up though? Like, what do you feel like you switched up? Like, what gear did you hit? You know what I mean?
I really don't know. It was kind of a thing of, bro, I have to do this. Like, I want to do this. I always just felt like I have to do this because it's kind of like I'm trying to bridge the gap. My main goal in music, especially for me as like a Brit and as a Zimbabwean, I want to bridge the gap between the UK and the US. Like, I want people, like, so many people don't rate UK art, it's just because of the accent. But it's like, we say way more harder stuff than I don't care what anyone says. If you know, you know. Like, if you know, you know. It's just like, it's just that kind of thing where it's like, I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder being from elsewhere, you know. But like, there's people that are doing it already, like Central C and Lancey Fo, he's going crazy in the underground. You know, people like that are really helping bridge the gap. I want to do that too.
So have you like experienced like any type of like discrimination?
Oh yeah,
really?
100%, 100%.
Like what are they saying? Like
I've had DMs where it's like, bro, I don't know anything you're saying, and it's like, bro, I don't make mumble rap or whatever that means. I don't make stuff like, you can hear what I'm saying. It's just the accent. They just can't get over it. I think that's literally the only thing that's stopping UK artists being bigger than they are. It's just the accent. I genuinely think
they're not cultured.
Yeah, and people just clown it. Like it's so annoying. Like
really?
Yeah. Like remember when the whole like 21 Savage thing happened? They were clowning him just for being from the UK. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. They were clowning him just for being from London, and it's like,
yeah, but people don't even think about like that's the old world. Like the old world really birthed here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Y'all, like they're basically your son.
Yes, I say that all the time. I say that all the time. I was like, you speak our language.
But so, were there any like language barriers when you first came over, or?
You know what? It was just weird because I couldn't understand people because obviously I'm not used to hearing the Georgia accent, and then people couldn't understand me, so it was so weird. But like in high school, it was crazy. I had crowds of people just come up to me and tell me to speak. Like it was so weird. I wasn't used to that.
Can you give me your best Atlanta accent?
Nope.
Why not?
Nope. Atlanta?
All right, your best US accent.
US. I can do like New York. I can try.
All right.
Yo, word to my mother, you bugging, I lie.
Okay.
It was all, yeah.
Wait, why did you choose New York?
That's the only one I know how to do.
Is that like the only one everybody from the UK?
Yeah, like I said, everyone knows that it's so similar, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we talked about like the most memorable moment. What's been the most like challenging moment of your career?
Challenging moment. Honestly, recently, the project I was supposed to drop, Godspeed, it was actually supposed to drop next week, but I had to push it back for a lot of different reasons. Like for example, DistroKid, I don't know if you know DistroKid, the distributor. They messed up my name because I used to go by another name before Tashi Fuego. I used to go by another name, Lil Wills.
Lil what?
Lil Wills, Willz. Okay. It just ties in with my last name. My last name is Williams, so it's like, and I'm short, so Lil Wills. Yeah. Basically.
What made you change it?
I don't know. You know, honestly, it was like the whole Lil thing. I did it as a joke because everyone's called Lil. I did it as a joke, but then I was like, you know what? I kind of don't like it. Like there was one day I was like, why am I called Lil Wills? I don't like it. And then I used the whole Fuego thing. I always called myself Fuego anyway, like even in my songs, like that's like kind of like a alter ego kind of thing, like the whole Fuego. But then Tashi, that's my middle name. It's Tashinga, it's Zimbabwean. So yeah, it's just my name, and then Fuego, Tashi Fuego.
What does your middle name mean?
It means, it's like three things. It means we are strong, we are brave, and we will conquer. That's what it means.
That's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You only can go up.
You see why I changed it?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So, what's like your biggest aspiration for your music and your career?
Biggest aspiration. I feel like I want to be like as big as possible, like the biggest you could possibly be. I don't want to say like Michael Jackson level because that's crazy, but like, why dream if you can't dream as high as possible? That's how I think. Like, if you have a dream, then just go for it. I want to be the biggest. That's my goal. And I just want to inspire others and put on for my country, really. That's what I want to do.
Facts. And so for someone watching this who aspires to do what you do, what advice would you have for them?
I would say don't listen to any of the haters. Like, just stay grounded, just lock in, just keep your head down. Don't focus on anything else, just focus on your sound, and then once you find it, project it as much as possible. Don't listen to anyone else. Whatever you want to do, do it. That's my biggest thing I can give you. If you have a dream, just dream as big as possible.